Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Seven people per day are being turned away from the Lloydminster Interval Homes Emergency Shelter. That stat coming out at the Interval Homes Annual General Meeting. Stakeholders gathered to hear about the challenges, successes, and future projects planned for the Interval Home.
The messaging was today is that there is need and that we are working our hardest to kind of meet that need, and we can't do it without support from the community, which thankfully we do receive.
It wasn't all bad news. Renderings for Project Hope, a new shelter build, were unveiled.
The plan that we have through Project Hope is to increase our bed space from 33 to 41 and increase our transitional units from 5 to 12. So we're really excited to move along on that project.
Land for Project Hope has already been acquired, and more detailed design work needs to be completed before it will be fully availed to the public and fundraising begins. Talks of Lloydminster updating the city's current baseball diamonds and soccer fields was discussed at City Council this week. The area is known as the Driven Energy Legion Ballpark and the VLA soccer fields were specifically in question. Discussion was generated on rehabilitating the space due to the area study presented to Council.
Because of the building report from the Centennial Civic Center, it was not of value to simply repair the Civic Center to get the life of span that we need to get out of it to make that money valuable. I think the same thing was meant by Councillor Buckingham when he referred to, did we patch and repair something at the Driven Energy Legion Ballpark or at VLA Field, or did we actually construct new?
The study recommended public bathrooms being installed in the area, water fountains, as well as updates to the dugout and batting cages.
And I know people asked me about the old community services building. Why did you tear it down? There was nothing wrong with it. It was standing there, the windows were solid, the doors were solid, but there's things underneath and inside, as applied to some of the buildings at the Driven Energy Legion Ballpark. There's some structures there that have definitely exceeded their lifespan, and we continue to use them. But when do we finally say it's time to put some budgetary money to it and build for today as well as for tomorrow?
Council did not vote on anything regarding the rehabilitation this week. However, it will return to Council in the upcoming weeks. All right, Abby, well, it wasn't the most pleasant day yesterday. It was pretty cloudy, pretty windy, but today it was actually quite beautiful. So how is it going to be looking for this upcoming Friday and on the weekend for this nice September weekend?
Yes, the clouds really cleared off, as I stated yesterday that it would happen. So that was really nice to see. And then this weekend it should be sunny as well. So that's always something to look forward to. And we should be into the 20s, early 20s throughout the weekend. But today we had a very nice day out today. It was quite sunny out, and it continues to be quite sunny out with a high of 18 degrees. So not quite at that 20-degree mark, but it was still a very, very nice day out, which comparatively to yesterday, it's a lot better. So definitely take that over what we had yesterday. And then across the region, very similar temperatures in Alberta to us, 18 in Provost, Vermilion, Vegreville, Edmonton, St. Paul, Cold Lake, Bonnyville, and Lac La Biche. And then Wainwright, the lone Wainwright sitting at 19 degrees. And then on the Saskatchewan side, similar temperatures as well, 19 in Isla Crosse, Green Lake, Meadow Lake, St. Walburg, and Maidstone, 21 in North Battleford, 18 in Mackland and in Pearceland. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, things will clear up and it will be a little bit chillier on the chillier side with only 2 degrees as your low for this evening, but clear skies is always nice to have. And then tomorrow, bright sunny day with a high of 23 degrees. So tomorrow is going to be a very nice day out in North Battleford. Lots of sun and lots of warmth. And then overnight tonight in Cold Lake, it will be clear, but it will be 2 degrees similar to North Battleford. So definitely it will be a little bit more on the chillier side for tonight. And then tomorrow in Cold Lake, it will be another bright sunny day with a high of 22. So not as warm as North Battleford, but with that sun, it should feel a little warmer with plenty of sunshine. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, we will be clear tonight, and 4 degrees will be our evening temperature, so that's always nice to look forward to. And then tomorrow, a little bit of clouds peeking throughout the day, but it should be warm with a high of 22. There may be a little bit more breeze in the afternoon, but it should be a very, very nice day out. And then over the next 3 days for your weekend, a nice, beautiful sunny day on Saturday with a high of 19 and a low of 10. And then on Sunday, it will be a bit windy throughout the day with a high of 22 and a low of 7. So your weekend is looking fairly nice out. A little bit of wind, but for the most part, it will be very nice and sunny. And then taking a look at one of your viewer photos, thank you so much, Greg, again for sending these gorgeous sunset shots at Bright Sand Lake. I love to see them. And if you'd like to see your weather photo on our show, please email us at weather@stingray.com. That is your first look at your weather forecast. I'll have a more in-depth look later on in the show.
And make sure to stay with us after the break. We will have today's business headlines. The Lloydminster Bobcats finished their 3-game homestand when they took on the Sherwood Park Crusaders, and I got the opportunity to see the exciting matchup. The Lloydminster Bobcats were looking to start 3-0 to start the season, but so were the visiting Sherwood Park Crusaders. It was a tight matchup at the beginning of the first period, but a breakthrough was made by the Crusaders, as Zach Maxwell was able to put one past Jack Solomon, but then 3 minutes later, the Bobcats answered back. Dalton McGelvery scored for the Bobcats to tie it up at 1, but then Brock Soch of the Crusaders scored late in the first on the power play to give the Crusaders the lead heading into the first intermission. The second period saw no scoring, and throughout a majority of the third there was no scoring as well. Cole Assaley put one past Jack Solomon with just under 4 minutes left though, and the Bobcats were running out of time and had to pull the goalie, but still could not get one past the elite play of Eric Rost. Rylan Ringer got a hold of the puck late and finished the Bobcats off with an empty netter with a final score of 4-1.
I mean, I thought we generated a lot offensively. We did a lot of good things defensively. Biggest thing for us is just being committed to playing 60 minutes and being competitive from buzzer to buzzer. I felt like we did that. Obviously, you want to win every night. So I'm not a good loser, and neither are the guys in that room. But again, I'm proud of the effort. But if we're going to get to where we want to get to, it can't. Whether it's Sherwood Park, Brooks, whoever it is, we got to find a way. So it's a good learning experience for our team, and I'm always proud of the guys and the way they work. Though.
The Bobcats have played solidly defensively throughout the first 3 games, and a big piece to that has been new goalie Jack Solomon, who turned away just under 30 shots on the loss, and has been adjusting well to Canada and the border city.
Well, some of that's like adrenaline from playing junior hockey, and like it's my first time doing everything, but like Sheldon's really helped me, and just everybody encouraging me along the way.
The Bobcats plan on working on the offensive side of the game and trying to convert on their high-danger scoring chances.
Yeah, you know what? Just like in practices, we got to bear down. Like just like in a game, just got to bear down and finish our chances. The chances we had a lot of grade A chances. Just got to bury those.
The Bobcats will now head on the road for 2 games against the Fort McMurray Oil Barons. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news. And now let's check in for another look at weather. Here's Abby St. John.
Thanks so much, Thomas. Taking a look at current temperatures, it is 18 degrees here. We saw a very, very clear and sunny day out today comparatively to yesterday, which was super gloomy and cloudy. Today was a redemption of sorts. It's awesome to see that sun still shining and that temperature is still quite high. Even though 18 isn't in the 20s, it's still a very nice temperature to be at this time of year. Across Alberta, 17 in Rocky Mountain House, Jasper, Edson, and Whitecourt, 18 in Athabasca, the Basket and in Edmonton and in Cold Lake, and 16 in Red Deer. And then on the Saskatchewan side, 21 in North Battleford, Saskatoon and Prince Albert, 22 in Melfort, and 19 in Meadow Lake. And if we take a look more up north in Saskatchewan, 20 in La Loche, Buffalo Narrows, South End, Flin Flon, 19 in Stony Rapids. Uranium City is sitting at 15 and Wollaston Lake at 18. And then on the Alberta side, 20 in Fort Chipewyan and in Slave Lake, 23 in Grand Prairie, 21 in Fort Mac, 19 in High Level and in Peace River. And then if we look down south, 20 in Medicine Hat, 15 in Calgary, 16 in Banff, and 18 in Coronation. And then on the Saskatchewan side, 19 in Kindersley and Swift Current, 22 in Moose Jaw, Yorkton, and Estevan, and 23 out in Regina. And then overnight tonight in North Battleford, it will drop down to 2 degrees, so it will be quite chilly out. However, it will be clear skies, so that's always nice to look forward to. And then Cold Lake overnight will also drop down to 2 degrees, but clear skies as well. And then overnight tonight, clear skies in the majority of the region, but 3 degrees in Meadow Lake and Paradise Hill, 2 in Bonnyville, 4 in Provost, and 7 in Isle Cross. So it's going to be a very clear night for the most of the region. And then across more temperatures overnight, 2 in Mirnam, Pierceland, and Unity, 3 in Wainwright, and 6 in Calgary. And those skies are going to be very, very clear overnight tonight, so that's always nice to look forward to if you're a fan of watching the stars like I am. It's definitely a great night for that. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to 4 degrees, and again, we'll have clear skies as well. Over the next 7 days here in Lloydminster, we will warm up to 22 degrees tomorrow with a low of 8. A mix of sun and cloud, and the wind will pick up in the afternoon. On Saturday, expect a very sunny day out with a high of 19 and a low of 10. On Sunday, the wind will increase throughout the day with a high of 22 and a low of 7. So besides the wind, this weekend is looking to be a very nice weekend out. Back on Monday, a high of 23 and a low of 10. High clouds, so it will be a very warm day out. On Tuesday, a very sunny day, a little bit breezy in the afternoon, but it should be warm with that high of 22 and a low of 7. On Wednesday, expect about a 66% chance of some showers in the evening with a high of 19 and a low of 5. And then on Thursday, there's a 40% chance that rain will continue in the afternoon throughout the day with a high of 17 and a low of 7. That is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
We have a very familiar face joining us today on Primetime Local News. Heather Klages is here. Heather, normally we hear you on the radio and you're involved in so many things in the community. Today, you're here on behalf of the local Legion. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for inviting me in.
We have an exciting event this weekend. It's kind of a celebration, kind of twofold. You're hoping to get some new members with the Lloydminster Legion. So tell me a little bit about, let's talk about why you guys are doing it first.
We're hosting an open house on Saturday, and one of the reasons for that is to share some information with people about what the Legion stands for, what we do, and how people can become a member. And part of it too as well is an opportunity to really thank the community, because there was a point a few years ago where we actually had to put the building up for sale because we were struggling to make ends meet. But thankfully, because of incredible community support, we've been able to take our building off the market. We're going to stay in that building. So we want to be able to celebrate that too. So we're having an open house and everybody's welcome to stop by.
And one thing that is associated with the Legion is the membership, like you discussed, but there is still, I guess, kind of a stigma almost out there that people think they have to be involved in the military to be part of the Legion, but that is not the case. So let's talk a little bit about that and who can join the Legion.
Anybody can become a member of the Legion. We just have an application form that you fill out. We do have a number of members right now that do have that connection to the military, but you don't need to have that connection as long as you're looking to help out the community. And I know a lot of people too, it's kind of a way for them to pay tribute to people who serve in the military and veterans who served during World War II. It's a nice way to pay tribute to them as well. So you can stop by the Legion and get that membership form. There's also information available online through the national headquarters of the Legion too.
Well, and let's talk about Saturday's event. Lots of things are going on, so tell me about what's planned.
We're very excited about Saturday. So the doors are going to open at about 12:30, and then we have a short program that's going to get started at 1 o'clock. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of the Lloydminster Legion and some of the ways that they've been able to give back to the community over the years. And we're also very excited to have a member of the RCMP. They're going to be there. There's going to be a police dog presentation. And part of the reason for that too is to celebrate the RCMP's 150th anniversary. So we're excited to have that. We're also going to have an Indigenous dancer that's going to join us for a performance. Plus we have a musical guest, Jordan Pollard, as well. And then we've got lots for the kids lined up. There's going to be a number of different activities that they can take part in, different games that they can play, because we want people to know as well that the Legion is very family friendly. So the family is welcome to come out.
And is there a charge for this? Do people have to pay, or are you accepting donations if people want to make donations?
It's free to attend. We will have a barbecue that will be there, and we'll be taking donations for that, but we're going to make those donations go to the food bank here in town to help give back.
You guys are always doing so many good things for the community. The next thing, obviously, we have coming up after this, we have Remembrance Day. Can you tell us, do you need some volunteers to help out with anything as we go forward, even if they're not a member? I know often you'll recruit people from the community to help out. Is that an option too for people as well?
It's always great to have volunteers leading up into Remembrance Day, especially when we have the poppy boxes that are at different locations around the city. It's great to have people who can help out with those. And yes, you don't have to be a member of the Legion. If you just like to help out in that sense, just get in touch with the Legion. We'll take your information, and then we'll be in touch with how you can support us during that poppy campaign.
So Heather, if anybody's looking for information either on joining the Legion or the open house this weekend or volunteering, as you said, is there one location where everything is, that people can look at social media or a website, or what's the best way to get all of that information?
Everything is on our Facebook page, and also the Legion is open Friday afternoons and Saturday afternoons regularly as well, so you can stop in there and just talk to the people who are there. There's always some great members there who can help you out with any questions that you have.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Heather, and good luck with the open house this weekend.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
it. Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm very happy to be joined here today by Chris Brinklow. He's one of the co-organizers of the Border City Card Show. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. It's a great pleasure. Pretty excited to have this event coming up here in almost a month's time.
Yes, it's super exciting, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are very excited for this as well. Can you give me a little bit of background on the card show and what it is?
So last year, my friend Braden and I, we decided to get a little card show going just to kind of see what local interest there would be from collectors, because right now the card market, the hobby market is on the rise, whether it's hockey, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. There's a huge spike going on, and that all started with COVID. So we did a little show over at Border City Games. They let us have their back room, and it was a decent turnout, but figured we'd give it another shot in March, maybe at a bigger venue. So we held it at the Lloyd Mall, and we got an NHL player, Rob Brown. He was here last March, came out and did some autographs. Fantastic turnout. We had about 28 vendors from all across the province, Saskatchewan and Alberta. And then it's like, maybe we need a bigger spot because we sold out the tables. So we tried the casino, but unfortunately they were booked that weekend. We tried out at Rolling Green, and they were more than happy to help us out on the 22nd, which is a Sunday. But This time I was like, okay, we're going to go bigger, at least 40 vendors. And within 3 weeks, I sold out my tables. So that was a huge blessing to have that happen, and super excited for what this show is going to be.
That sounds awesome. And it's fantastic that you guys are able to grow the show because, like you said, the hobbyists really started coming out during COVID. A lot of card collecting is very nostalgic too. So it's great that it's making a comeback and people are falling back in love with collecting. What can we expect from this show?
This show is going to be loaded. So um, we have everything from hockey, baseball, football, Pokemon, Magic, the Gathering. There's also going to be a special Pokemon event because the name of the card or the release has slipped my mind, but there's going to be a Pokemon game that people can come play. And Border City Games is putting that on in the back room at the Rolling Green Center there at the pavilion. And so there's going to be that. We're going to have Chris Joseph, who was a former Oilers defenseman, mid 90s, early mid 90s. And Chris is more than happy to come here. And also, Chris is a former Penguins draft pick from 1988. So I'm super happy about that. And he played with the Oilers, the Penguins a couple times. But he's also going to come and talk and do a little chit chat. We're going to have a Chris talk, so to speak. And he's going to talk. Unfortunately, Chris and his family lost their son Jackson in the Humboldt Broncos crash years ago. So he's going to talk about how his family's been able to heal over the process of that. And also, we're going to be raising some money for some great organizations, one of them being the Bee Fisher. So Chris is going to talk about some memories of his time with Joey Moss, a very well-known Oilers equipment manager. And so, and just answer some questions. We're going to have a little sit down at 1 o'clock. So people are more than welcome to come and ask some questions, get some autographs. He'll be there for 3 hours from 11 till 2. I could go on. We have some fantastic giveaways. Our friends over at Maxwell Music Lloydminster, they have donated a Mike Smith hat, autographed hat, Oilers hat. And then also every hour, so at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we're going to be drawing names from the door prize tickets for some graded cards. Now these are tag 10. That means when a card is rated 10, that means they are in perfect condition. So we have 6, 1 for each hour. If nobody is there to claim, then the prize carries over. So there'll be prizes hourly to be given away. We also have, I'm very proud of this, one of people's favorite Oiler, Fernando Pisani, was gracious enough to sign a jersey, an Oilers jersey. And this is not just a knockoff jersey. This is the legit, Fanatics or Adidas game-worn jersey that the players would wear. So our friends over at J-Guard are donating this prize, and we're so thankful for the local support. But collectors from all across Saskatchewan and Alberta, from Whitecourt, Medicine Hat, Sylvan Lake, and then on the Saskatchewan side, Kamsack, Regina, Prince Albert, Saskatoon, all over, and even locals. So it's going to be a huge collection of new and old sports memorabilia, also Pokemon and Magic as well. So it's going to be fantastic.
Yes, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, not just for hockey fans, not just for Oilers fans, but for people who are just a fan of collecting and, making a hobby out of that. So that's incredible that we have something like the card show here in Lloydminster. Now, you had mentioned that some of the proceeds will be going towards the Fisher Foundation, but I also believe that there's going to be other organizations that will benefit from this fundraiser. Tell me a little bit about where those proceeds will be going.
The sexual assault services here in Lloydminster, they've, as most people have known, they've had some foundation issues. They've been able to raise some money for it, but not everything has been taken care of. But aside from that, they also need, there's a need for supplies, and also for some of the victims that they help, some things, that they use to aid. with that. So they are more than happy to jump on board with our fundraiser. And then Pleasant View Bible Camp. I know a lot of the kids in this area go to that camp every year, but not a lot of families can afford to send their kid to that camp because it's about $350 for a kid to go for a week. So our target is to raise at least $350 to send one kid to camp for next summer, and then with that, the money from that is from all the door prizes that we have, and also the raffle for the jersey and the hat and some of the other great prizes that we do have. And a lot of local vendors are chipping in for that. It's amazing to see, and even as simple as providing accommodation. My friend Tony over at Ivanhoe Motel is offering up accommodation for some of the collectors that are traveling from Medicine Hat or long distances, just to give them a place to stay so they don't have to pack up and drive 6 hours. So it's amazing how the community here in Lloydminster has really reacted and got around this hobby and this event. It's not just about card collecting. It's about giving to the community and I guess showing some love.
That sounds like this card show is going to be a fantastic event coming up on October 22nd. I wish you the best of luck with the card show. I have no doubt that it's going to be a very successful one like your ones in the past. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely, and thanks for having me.
Of course.
So these police puppies stole the show at Chile's independence celebration this week. The puppies were carried in bright yellow backpacks by their handlers, and they're just trainees right now, but once they grow up, they will become full-fledged members of the Chilean National Police's elite canine unit. The dogs are specially trained for the parade to keep calm during the loud music and festivities.
I think they are adorable. Get a dog in a backpack and I am there. I think their dogs are so cute and they're gonna make fantastic little canine police dogs.
Oh, that's, yes, absolutely adorable little cuties right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that is gonna do it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching Primetime Local News. My name is Thomas Wildman, and for Abby St. John, we will see you guys tomorrow for more news.